Is it permissible to be a student of a non-Muslim teacher as far as worldly knowledge is concerned? Knowledge can broadly be classified into two categories. The first is the Islamic knowledge. The second is the worldly knowledge. As far as Islamic knowledge is concerned, can it be acquired from a non-Muslim teacher? Islamic knowledge should only be acquired from a Muslim teacher. Islamic knowledge should not be acquired from a non-Muslim teacher. As far as knowledge of the deen is concerned, we should only acquire it from a Muslim teacher. And we find that it is very prevalent in today's time, that there are non-Muslim teachers who teach Islam to Muslim students, unfortunately. So when we are acquiring knowledge, Islamic knowledge, we should only acquire it from Muslim teachers. And we find in the Western countries, it is very prevalent. When students, they are doing their masters and their PhD, their guide many a times is a non-Muslim. How can you have a guide as a non-Muslim when you are studying Islam? And many people, they justify and they say, no, this person is just my guide. What is the harm? If you have a non-Muslim as your guide, as far as Islamic knowledge is concerned, you never know, it may have a huge impact on you. And we find this, that those students who have passed from universities, Islamic universities, like the Medina University, like Imam Muhammad bin Saud Islamic University, they do their bachelors from these Islamic universities. And later on, they do their masters and their PhD in the Western countries. And their guide is a non-Muslim. And we see the drastic change as far as them practicing Islam is concerned. They tend to compromise as far as Islam is concerned. Their views change and they become more lenient as far as practicing Islam is concerned. Certain people, we see that they study from Medina University, and while they are studying in Medina University, they are so righteous and so religious, and immediately after they pass them from Medina University and after they do their bachelors, they are so religious and righteous. And they are so good and practicing Muslims. But unfortunately, when they go to the Western countries and they do their masters and their PhD under a non-Muslim guide, we see their views change. And I would like to give you an example. If you are writing a thesis on Islamic banking, and there is a subtopic in Islamic banking regarding interest, and you are mentioning regarding taking a loan from a conventional bank for your house, a home loan, or taking an educational loan. Now, if your guide is a non-Muslim, he may tell you that it is okay with you taking a home loan from a conventional bank that is based on interest, an interest-based loan, because it is a requirement, you require a home. Many people, they even justify and they say that as far as education is concerned, you can take an interest-based loan, unfortunately. Islam is crystal clear, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly says in the glorious Quran that the one who deals in riba, it is as if he's waging a war with Allah and His Messenger. But yet people, they try to justify and they find ways in order to make something that is haram into halal. And they say that this is a requirement, unfortunately. So that's the reason when we are acquiring Islamic knowledge, we should see to it that we acquire it from a Muslim teacher. Even if it be a thesis, yet we should see to it that we choose a guide who is a Muslim. And what is the need for choosing a guide who is a non-Muslim? A non-Muslim who's a guide, he is the one who is going to guide you as far as tafsir is concerned. He is the one who's going to guide you as far as hadith is concerned. It does not make, it is not in accordance to the glorious Quran and the teachings of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. So this is as far as Islamic knowledge is concerned. The second type of knowledge, it is the worldly knowledge. As far as worldly knowledge is concerned, those can we acquire it from a non-Muslim teacher. Those students who are very young and those who are studying in school in the primary and pre-primary section, for example, in nursery, junior KG, senior KG, etc. They should not acquire knowledge from a non-Muslim teacher. And why do I say this? Because when a child is young, he cannot decipher between right and wrong. For example, a child is 5 years, 6 years, etc. And the teacher may say certain things which may go against the teachings of Islam. And when a child is very young, when he's studying in school, for him, his teacher is the ultimate. His teacher is next to God. Whatever his teacher tells him, the student follows it blindly. So that's the reason, if the child is very young, we should see to it that this child does not study even worldly knowledge under a non-Muslim teacher. Because, for example, the teacher may say certain things which may go against the teachings of Islam. For example, the teacher may say that interest is very good for the society, and the student may not realize. As far as those students who have crossed the age of puberty, for example, they are 12 years, 13 years, 14 years, 15 years, etc. They are in grade 6, 7, 8, etc. Even for these students, it is better that they study worldly knowledge under a Muslim teacher. But if they are confident as far as their deen, as far as their religion is concerned, then they may study worldly knowledge under a non-Muslim teacher. But they should see to it that the teacher is not misguiding them and is not teaching anything against the glorious Quran or authentic teachings of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon. But I would like to emphasize and say that even for these students, it is best that they study Islam they study worldly knowledge under a Muslim teacher. Now, as far as those students who are in college and in universities, can they acquire worldly knowledge from a non-Muslim teacher? The best for those students who are in college and in universities is that they acquire worldly knowledge from a Muslim teacher. But if they are strong as far as the deen is concerned, and if they are steadfast on the religion of Islam, and if the teacher is not misguiding them and not teaching anything that goes against the glorious Quran and authentic teachings of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, then a student who's in college or in a university can study worldly knowledge under a non-Muslim teacher. But yet, the best is to study worldly knowledge under a Muslim teacher. And for those students who are in the pre-primary or primary section, they cannot decipher between right and wrong. So if, for example, if there is a female teacher who wears a skirt and teaches the students, so the students, the female students, they may be influenced by the dressing of the teacher, and even they will want to wear skirts. They will also want to wear skirts. So many a times we think that, oh, it is okay, it is just worldly knowledge, but we do not realize the impact that it has on students who are young, especially on students who study in the primary and pre-primary section. So as far as worldly knowledge is concerned, the best is that it be acquired from a Muslim teacher. And our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli Muslim." Seeking knowledge, it is obligatory upon every single Muslim. So we should acquire education and knowledge. And we should try to admit our children into good Islamic schools. Schools wherein there is proper segregation of the genders. Males have a separate premise and the females have a separate premise. So I hope that answers your question.